Hello, you guys. But we are reviewing Agente Secreto, the secret agent. Who who was sneezing during my intro? Anyway, I picked this movie because this movie is the most incredible, best film of all time. So much so that it is nominated for a bunch of different categories, including Best International Film and Best Film at the same time in the Oscars. How crazy is that? But I'm not here by myself. I'm here with an incredible, illustrious host and guest. We got JP Saruno. We got El Dondino. We got the Marina Love. And we got Jason on the Skull Echoes right here. I want to know your first impressions. And let's start with the most energetic, entertaining person. Let's go with, of course,
Oh
JP.
no, I'm not entertaining at all. No, I mean, not gonna lie, like I this movie was kind of in my radar, but I totally missed it when it was first released. Thankfully, AMC they're re-releasing the film. They're re-releasing a lot of like films that have been nominated for the Oscars this year, and my first impressions definitely not the type of movie that I thought it would be. I came in completely blind, not knowing what the subject matter was, not even seeing anything from the movie really, just a poster. And that first scene was definitely not what I anticipated at all from the movie. For my first impressions, though, like like having this first time around, I think this movie would definitely benefit from a rewatch. Only for me, because I'll admit it was a bit. I don't want to say underwhelming, but I did expect a bit more, and the film did for me, just story wise, left a lot to be desired. But sometimes stories don't need that, and that's sometimes not the point. Also, what a great way to escape these awful modern times about someone recollecting on kind of worse times. You know, it's great. That's it for me.
Thank you for that, JP. Let's go with Marina.
All right. So I probably would have never heard about this movie unless you guys were like, oh, I love this movie. So yeah, okay. So I was excited. I think I had a disadvantage. Like it's a lot going on, and I really wish I could speak the origin language because I feel like on top of like reading subtitles, there's a lot of like past and present and layers and like hidden meanings that I was too busy being lost in translation to really grasp. So while on a first impression, I do feel the intensity, I feel the story being told, I feel the importance that the story is to these people. I do feel like I would probably, like JP said, need a rewatch now that I like ingested it, like to kind of go back and kind of maybe pay attention a little bit more um on top of like because I did read the subtitles and stuff. Maybe if I watch it again, I can grab a little bit more. I did have a good first impression, but I do feel like I probably missed out on a lot of things because of just the language barrier. But I feel like it was well shot. I feel like there was some good acting. I feel like even though I didn't speak the origin language, I felt the intensity when things were high stakes. I do, even though I kind of figured it was something going on as far as like the title. It's called The Secret Agent. So I figure there's something like like something related to it. But they did a really good job at like I still don't 100% understand when he was involved in certain things and why, and I'm hoping we can dive into that more, but I just thought he was a regular guy, and for it to be like, no, just kidding, he has a whole past. They did a really good job at like having you feel like you're watching something and then it's completely something else is going on at the exact same time. So overall, really good first impression. I just do wish that it would have been in English or dubbed or, something to where I didn't have to on top of interpret, figure out the plot at the same time.
At least it was in black and white, Marina.
Did you say you wished it was in black and white, Dina?
At least it wasn't in black and white, Marina.
Touche.
Thank you for that, Marina. Let's go with the incredible theater teacher, Jason.
Thank you, my prized pupil, Steve. Um, this is my first time seeing this movie. And I gotta say, like, I almost wished it wasn't hyped up so much because I'm with JP. This thing was totally underwhelming for me. I guess I was expecting a lot. This thing with all the nominations and being nominated in best foreign film and best picture. Like, I don't. I'm gonna be honest with you. After first watching, I don't see it. I don't see how this thing is that. Now, I did come to some realizations as I was watching it, and I'll share those as my first impression. Um, like Marina said, technically the movie looks good. I do like the way it's shot. I like the way that it kind of flashes in and out of time. I genuinely like that. But this thing is a 2 hour and 40 minute movie. I could have done with about 45 less minutes, 50 minutes of this movie because this thing just kind of like it's paced so weird the first two acts of the movie. And it's just like I honestly don't know what's going on in this movie into the first 90. I clocked it. I clocked it at 91 minutes. 91 minutes before I had a clue what was happening in the movie. And I get they're probably trying to peel this thing back like an onion. And maybe people who know the story, like Brazilian people who know like the true story of this or have some idea about this, maybe they already know it, so they don't need it like explained to them the same way. But I didn't even understand there was a dictatorship in 1970 Brazil. So I kind of went into this thing not even like, a little bit blind. I didn't know the movie had anything to do with that. So I didn't really know what was happening. And I'm like, and if this thing wasn't called The Secret Agent, I would have been lost. I would have been lost to the very end until they like revealed he was like, this thing doesn't even like have any urgency into the third act. Into the third act, I was just kind of like, I won't say I was bored, but I like just underwhelmed and just like I don't even know if this thing's ever going to tell me what's going on. Like I had kind of lost faith that they were ever going to let the audience in on what the heck is happening in this movie. So the third act I thought was really well done. Like I said, they don't. I just feel like I didn't like it. I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't like this movie. I think it's forgettable. I think I think after the Academy Awards, no one's ever going to talk about this thing again. That's just what I feel like. And I could be wrong. I know that's a hot take, you guys, but
I have never heard Jason said straight up he didn't like what?
Listen, the third act was the best part, and I thought that was pretty good. If that could have been like at least 60% of the movie, I'd be like, this thing's rocking. Now I will say all the acting was good. I loved a lot of the characters in that. We'll talk about this. But as a story and the way it's constructed, I'm just like, you can't leave me in the dark for 90 minutes.
Did you just hear this is worse than Havoc?
No. I did not. I would not go that far.
Also,
you said forgettable.
I'm not upset. I'm just a little disappointed that from all conversations you're like, I didn't realize there was a dictator in Brazil in the 70s. I thought I've been schooling you about
I didn't know this was a true story either.
It's not.
It's not a true story?
No, only like the dictator and what the true story is that these things happen and were happening in that period. That's basically it.
Oh, okay.
But his character, not a real person, and like it's kind of like him going up against BP, British Petroleum or whatever. That's what they were basically alluding to and stuff like that. So there are many stories, and like the girls transcribing the audios, that's like all of South America has those cases of people. Anyway, the that we can continue on first impressions.
Oh, I thought you had already started your first impression.
I just got thrown into there. I didn't. I didn't want to give the different.
Oh,
Come on.
Uh,
What's going on? Get,
he was silenced
get
by the
Dino back
British
here this
guy.
instant.
Tubarão, El Tubarão. You know what? I think it's beautifully shot. Seeing all the VW bugs, even though that's in the 70s, it took me back to Paraguay in the late 80s, early 90s. Not gonna lie, we had a lot of VW bugs because we were coming out of a dictatorship, so there were a lot of VW bugs. Um, Beautifully shot. I knew the story. Like I know about the different military dictatorships, the censorship, all that, the torture. There are now in a lot of places libraries where you can go and plug in your name, your last name, or names of people you know, and there will be files of them, whether they were arrested, tortured, disappeared, all those kind of information. So more and more of these stories are coming out. I'm a little bit with Jason in that it was underwhelming. I actually thought for a moment where I was like, "Oh, this is getting exciting," is when that leg starts going around and kicking people in the park,
Yeah.
and I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, did this just take a turn like Sinners did, where you think like if you don't know anything about it, it's like, oh, this is a movie about sharecroppers and trying to start a juke joint, and that's it." And I was like, oh, this was a movie about military dictatorship. And now we have a leg that's on a rampage, just kicking people in the ass and,
Yeah.
the gay sex workers and all this other stuff. And it's going to get wild. And then, no, that was nothing. So
Yeah.
I kind of agree. I've seen other films and maybe TV shows that have dealt with similar situations or storylines that I think are more interesting. But again, this is beautifully shot. It is really well acted. Like the old lady that owned the place where people were staying, like that was, well, anyway. So underwhelming in that sense. It's beautifully shot. I kind of agree with Professor Jason that, yeah, Ed being nominated for all those things is a little weird, um, but it's beautiful.
Thank you so much, Dino. Just to add to essentially the part of the leg thing, that's actually part of Brazilian old, is an old legend of the hairy leg. So you can look that up in the meantime. So you get informed by that because I was informed by a local Brazilian when I watched this movie. This is actually my third time watching this film.
Wow.
And I agree.
Humble
This is
brag.
humble brag. And the first time I actually watched it in Salvador de Bahia, where Wagner Moura is from. And I watched it in the theater and it was freaking amazing. And the second time, I watched it more like cozy and stuff. And this time I watched it. I mean, technically watched it like three and a half because the third time I was gonna watch it, I didn't watch it the whole way through, but then I watched it the whole way through. But it is a movie, especially for non-native speakers. Like you need to watch it multiple times because the first time there's so much happening, so the visuals really captivate you. And it's a very beautifully shot film, especially in theaters. Like 100% is way better in theaters. This movie, and also this film is just one of those films that is throwing so much information, and especially that first goal, you're a little lost. You're a little like, okay, but wait, what? Who's the secret agent? What's happening? So what's the story? So what does this have to do with this? There's a lot of things you have to connect. And again, for people that are not part of that history or culture or from even that area of Brazil that is like the northeast, that Recife area where this story is being developed, it's hard to grasp all those details to connect the whole story. So overall, I believe like it is a movie that the more you watch it, the more you actually get out of it and you understand even more the story. Because just like everybody, the first time I was a bit lost as well, and stuff. And it was more because I was trying, well, not trying. There was no subtitles because I watched it in at Brazil. So, so it was harder for me to follow some things because I don't master the language yet. But like the other times that I watched it with subtitles, then I was catching way more of the story that was being difficult for me as a non-native speaker. So those are my first impressions. And I want to know for you guys, real quick, um, for award season, which award would you give this movie out of all the awards?
The Crying Monkey Award. That's a Tropic Thunder reference, guys. But
I don't know it. That's
well,
supporting characters for the plan.
yeah, the grandma. Well, he's already gotten some awards. He's gotten for Golden Globes. He got best actor. Um, I mean, I could see that. I mean, he plays two characters, father and son. So there's that emotional thing. And foreign film, even though I'd have to go see the other foreign films, but I can see that. But best film is
That's him playing his son at
at the
the
end.
end.
At the
Oh,
end.
Yeah.
I didn't recognize that. Holy crap, that's awesome.
I had to Google it because I'm like, wait a minute, like, what? Isn't this the future? Like, he looks the exact same. And then it was like,
Didn't he just die and now he's in the future?
I'm like, maybe he did it,
Well,
But
that's what I thought at first. I was like, oh, they might have set that up like White Man Can't Jump. Spoiler alert. They don't get shot by the loan sharks at the end.
I
They
mean,
just took the
that
pictures.
that part in particular, like what gives it away, and again, is the details. There's a lot of little details in the movie. When he's having the scene that he's in the buggy with his son, like in that scene, it's very focused on his son's eyes because his mom has clear eyes. And then when he's playing the son at the end, he has clear eyes
Right.
as
Yeah.
well. And it's
I
the
mean,
future because it's the chick bringing the tapes to him and
right.
all those things.
No. I think people understood that it was the future. I think people just had to do a double take to make sure that it was the same actor but playing father and son and not
Mm.
the same character. That's the issue. That because yeah, you can kind of tell the eyes are different, but also it's a little bit of a hard ask that you got to watch the movie 3 times for it to be understandable. That's
yeah, he's also a secret agent, so he could just put some contacts in.
but he wasn't a secret agent, not in the sense as what in English a secret agent is. It's just he was a person that he was a professor, like Professor Eccles, the
He
guy,
was like he was like
the
witness
chair.
protection or like
Yes,
when
witness
yeah.
with pro, but in not a legal way. In a we gotta help you escape because you gotta leave in exile because they're gonna try and kill you. He was a chair professor of a university dealing with, I don't know if it was electric cars or other types of farming and other types of resources that weren't oil, that were not oil, and was gonna take into the money of the nationalization of the country and the oil companies, basically.
So
So
culturally, for people like myself who see the title of this movie and are assuming that they're watching something about a spy,
yeah,
what does that title mean in Brazilian culture? Does anybody know? Like, why do they call it the secret agent if no one is really an agent, a secret agent? Anybody know?
Well, here I just got that understood there wasn't a spy, but that there was a mission that he was following and he got killed. But definitely not a spy, you know, not a secret agent as in James Bond or, you know, Tom Cruise or Jason Bourne, right? Just,
And I think that too on its own is something that can probably give you confusion because you're searching for this
yeah.
where he's gonna like spin over on a car and shoot everyone out, you know?
And,
It's just
and maybe that's why Jason was saying like the third act is when it finally kind of started seeing that kind of idea of like, oh well, there's a chase, there's, you find out what he's running away from, and it wasn't because he, and that was kind of the mystery of it all, right? Who is this guy? He's not saying who he is. He's, all these people are not who they are, but it wasn't because they were like, again, they were just running away for one or another reason because they were being persecuted by the government or different
Yeah, like
entities.
a lot of, I mean, we reviewed I'm Still Here, and like a lot
Yeah.
of these Brazilian films are very politically charged. So
Yeah.
like of course we're gonna be out of the loop because we don't know like a lot of the history and the politics of like Brazil necessarily.
And this is all around also the same as Matar un Muerto, right? And other films
Yeah.
from Paraguay. The whole period of the Cold War is
Yeah.
all connected in South America. Of basically, there were military dictators in all the countries, and all the people that were different thinking, liberals or professors, or they were being persecuted. So
And also Brazilian films don't follow the trope of like a lot of movies in the United States with the title they kind of give you what the movie's about. So like if they put like Fleeting Away or something like that, then it's like like they kind of like giving you what it is. But the secret agent then makes it like, oh, what is this about? Where's the secret agent? What's happening? What, he doesn't have a gun though, and like all this stuff.
I was watching Bonnie and Clyde, no idea what it was about.
It ended with how to make Swiss cheese.
Oh, nice, JP. Um,
So Jason, tell us about your gripes with this movie.
Well, listen, I do feel like the movie spends the first two acts being vague, maybe as a device. I don't know. I just don't feel like it was very effective. And this feels like one of those movies that if I was sitting in the movie theater and I had to pee, I would have really given this movie a bad review. You know what I mean? Like it just feels unnecessarily long, just long and drawn out. And I mean, like it's so well acted, and the characters are also interesting that I can see like why maybe it's a bit indulgent in that regard. Like, oh, we can't cut this scene. So and so really good in it, or I really like what this is saying about the character and the world building behind it. And like, just maybe I'm ignorant. Maybe I'm ignorant because like I don't have. I'm like not emotionally grounded to this 1970s Brazil, dictatorship stuff. And so, like, maybe because I'm not educated enough on it, me personally, I don't have enough invested in it to care about it enough. You know what I mean? Like I think that's a part of it as well. Maybe because if I did, maybe a 2 hour and 40-minute movie wouldn't be enough. But
Mm.
I guess I don't know enough about it. The stakes didn't seem incredibly high to me because I didn't even know what he was running from for the first 90 minutes.
Yeah, I felt the same way. Like how the movie, and I'm sure it was definitely an intentional narrative where it's like, oh well, you are finding out the goals and basically the what is at stake, kind of with the B plot with the the girl who's reviewing these tapes. You're almost as lost as her, in the present day. But for me personally, it was also a detriment to the movie because I was so lost, and that even threw me off even way harder. So I'm sure, like on rewatch, it will make more sense. But as a first time watching, it was really hard to be invested when I had no idea what was the goal,
Exactly. We spend a lot of time in this movie not knowing what the goal is.
Or how to serve, how to win too. Yeah, I definitely, I said it, like, I think on top of it, how we've kind of dived in, like, history wise, just growing up in the US, we've got so much going on in this country that sometimes I feel like I don't know enough about what's going on in other countries. So it was kind of eye-opening to like hear about it and watch this film, but I definitely do think a rewatch is needed because on top of it being like a part of history that I don't know too much about, even though, I'm first generation American, my mom had to leave her country as a kid for similar reasonings. I still haven't really been, I got thrown into school and no one really taught me about like what's going on in other parts of the world that don't necessarily affect the US on the surface. And so I definitely want to rewatch, but on top of it being like something I don't know about, also just I do think like not being able to even like understand the words without reading them, and you're reading subtitles, it makes you not look at the picture. So now that I watched the whole thing and I know a little bit more about what the goal is. I know that it's not about like an FBI, it's not James Bond, it's not born supremacy, born whatever the borns are. It's not, now that I know that it's not that and stuff, like I feel like I could rewatch again and like take in a little bit more. But yeah. And it was curious. I feel like we all have different backgrounds, so it's just very interesting to hear because nobody's fluent in, they're speaking Portuguese in this film.
Yeah.
Nobody's fluent in that language on this, right?
The
Oh, you
person
are?
right over here on the other side.
I mean,
Alita.
right.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna say I'm next to you. Don't even know Spanish, my friend.
Damn.
I don't know, but okay. But like, Steve, you understand Portuguese fluently?
Pretty friendly, yeah.
Do you feel like you had an advantage with that? Like, it
Over you
helped.
guys, yeah. Over a native person that lived through that, no.
Okay. Yeah.
You
I
said,
have
"Oh, you
some
guys."
degree.
Yeah.
I have some degree, but when they would go fast, also, that's where it's hard for me. But then
There's
for me, more than the subtitles was bugging me because I was trying to understand the Portuguese and then the English was throwing me off, and I wanted to be like, can you just have Spanish subtitles?
You were getting, I
'Cause-
was about to say, were you getting English subtitles, Dino?
yeah, we saw it in San Diego.
Okay.
So I wish it would have been Spanish subtitles and not English, because then I was like, is that really the best way to translate that? Like I was just kind of the parts that I would understand well. I was like, I don't know if that's how I would have, maybe translated it. But anyway, yeah.
So what? Since Dino said what was bugging him, let me tell you what was bugging me. That cat. What did you guys think about that cat in the movie?
Very interesting choice. I was trying to see like what the symbolism was in the movie. Maybe it's like a two-face thing.
Yeah,
Like
Yeah.
Is that a
that's, and again, I'm sure
Brazilian thing again?
I think someone at some point knew a two-faced cat, and it was interesting of having to play like which is the real face that you're wearing, because he was going by two names as well, right? And then they
everybody
have
in the house was two
and then
people.
Yeah.
they did the toast towards the end, and he finally said his real name. I don't want to, and whatever it was, like, I don't want to be someone else. This is who
Armando.
I am. This is what's happening. And there were a lot of mirroring, metaphors and stuff like that. And I felt like the two-headed, two-faced cat was part of that. It was
That was his undoing, though. That was his undoing moment. Had he not told the group his name was Armando, when they called his name out at the clerk's office, they all looked back at him because they knew him, and that's what gave him away to the killer.
That wasn't
Yeah.
the full group though. He only told one person at that place. But yeah, I mean,
He told that woman, didn't he?
only the one.
The
But
two people looked back at him when they said Armando.
also they fooled his not stepfather, father-in-law, right?
Mhm.
Because they were I mean, it was a little bit of it gave me a little bit of Carlito's Way vibe also, and any of those kind of movies from like the 70s, 80s, of
Yeah.
someone trying to escape their past and just almost getting ready to get out of there, and for one reason or another,
It
they
was
don't
also
make it.
funny how each person is putting like a lower hit on the guy to get somebody else to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And then the
Yeah.
one scumbag, he's like hanging out on the beach getting drunk all day while he sends like some like sugar cane employee
yeah,
to for 4,000 I don't know what the money was, what the currency is.
right.
That was funny.
And then that's the thing where you get a killer like that who you think is a low life or whatever. He don't care. He gonna kill you too, right? Like no sweat off his back. You come in all fancy. You come in all half cocked. You come in thinking you're this contract killer. And so then I thought the movie was gonna maybe go that way of like, oh, let's see how this gets resolved by the
Mhm.
guy from the beach and the phone call with higher ups, and it went fugazi, how they say, how the kids are calling it these days, and let the murkings begin. Um, yeah.
Well, let's talk about favorite character, shall we?
There's a lot.
Hairy leg.
There's a lot of like contenders for
Yeah.
favorite character. I'll be honest with you, man. So I can go right
Well,
now, or I can let other people
let's
go.
no, you
I
can
like
go,
that old lady.
Jason.
I like that old lady. I'm taking it. I'm stealing her.
Why?
Well, you know what? I was going to say the old lady. She deserves a pretty honorable mention. I liked her very much. I liked his wife. I thought she gave a really powerful performance for someone who only had like one scene in the movie. She really stood out. Like, wow, like she really, her acting was really good. I mean, a lot of times like actors kind of struggle with that. Like, I only got one scene in this whole big story, and but she kills it. I mean, I feel like she's in the whole movie and she's only in that one scene. I thought she was awesome. Um, who else did I like? I liked a lot. I liked the guy who was like the killer, the lowest end killer that they hired. I also
Yeah.
liked the guy who was the scumbag killer, who hired him. There's a lot of likable people. I liked the lady who was narrating the horror story from Angola or whatever. There's a lot of actors in this that I thought were pretty interesting.
The father-in-law,
Pretty
like that,
solid ensemble.
like he working at a cinema, and the even the little
Very
kid.
cinema paradiso.
Yeah, exactly, and the whole Jaws thing, and just like, yeah, all that. And but the old lady, I'm sure different cultures, different places, as like there's that old lady. I had how many tias, like especially out in the countryside or whatever, that you show up and they'll be ready there. They will have a room for you. They'll have food. They'll like tell you how it is. Like,
I'm
you know,
I'm gonna give an honorable mention of one of the
Mhm.
characters. The lady that plays the mom that the daughter got killed, that she goes to confront the other lady at the place he's working at.
yes,
Mm.
She did incredible job, and just like that little scene.
That was another one of those things where it's like we have so much going on to digest, and I'm already got a language barrier. Now we got this side story where I feel bad, and then in the office, and I'm trying to keep up. Did I miss something there? Like, does that connect some
Oh
way?
no, because like after that scene, with the movie thoughts, like if you thought that was gnarly, want to see a fucking Nazi? Like you like this the scene right after that emotional moment is like, let's see this fucking Nazi, bro.
but he wasn't a Nazi, right? He was actually a Jewish.
Oh,
He was.
they said that he fought with in the war, and it's like I don't know, like
In
Yeah,
Belgium.
I couldn't 100% understand what
I
was going
read it. I read it as was he Belgian? Okay, I could be
Right,
wrong.
but he said he's Jewish, and he even had the Hanukkah and stuff like
I
that,
I read it. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. I'm gonna have to rewatch it again.
and that's why
I
he
read
kind
it
of
as him converting. It's like, oh, I'm such an asshole Nazi. I should probably go into Judaism or something. That's how I read it. I
no,
could definitely be wrong though.
I guess I saw it as the ignorance of the police captain of just assuming that, and him just being so pissed with,
Yeah.
because it's, I don't know, it seemed like he had been, yeah. For me also, it's been about a month or more since I've watched the movie, so I'm not.
You didn't rewatch for Cinema Club? What?
I've been on my own travels, baby. I've been driving, like he was driving there at the beginning. I've been driving the country, you know. I've been on my own secret agent mission.
Okay.
That was a good sequence. I feel like my favorite character that hasn't been said yet is kind of like it's actually the trio, the scumbag police chief and the two fucking goons. Like all the three of them are just like like just with no shame, just incredibly awful bastards, and they just revel in it. Like they just love being these like assholes, and they're so.
They're both his sons, right? Like, or at least
Well,
that's what
I don't even know if I know that's like what they say, but a part of me is thinking like, no, like that's how huge this camaraderie is. It was like they literally call their boss their dad. Like, nah, when Pops gives you a fucking wink, then you take that wink, you son of a bitch.
JP, I thought you would have fit in right there with that.
Oh yeah, go. Let's talk to that Nazi. Let's go get a leg, boss. Oh yeah. I just had to learn Portuguese. No, I will do the very awful English dub of this movie.
I want to be the lady who like genuinely didn't know his name at the office. Like, she's like, "Is his name Armando?" She's like, "No, no." And at the end, his name's not Armando, is it? That's my second.
I just love after that whole sequence as well, where they're like, "You know what happened, right?" It's like, no shit, Sherlock.
Yeah, my favorite character is the older woman, the landlady. I do feel like in a world where I was having a hard time interpreting everything, you always understand that person that looks out for you, gives you the ground rules of staying at their place, and just like it's just no matter what's going on, like there's someone who's like been on this planet for a while, and there's just like these are the basics, you know. And this is my cat, and this is my neighbor.
The movie Sage. She was the sage in the film.
Yeah. So,
and she had lost someone as well, if I'm not mistaken. She lost someone as well. So.
Oh yeah. Yeah. But yeah, my fave. And then I do also like the flashbacks of his wife, you know, how powerful her character was, and yeah, just a lot. I can't repeat it enough that this will definitely be something I have to rewatch. But even from like jumping right in to something that had so many layers, I still do feel like it's a good film, you know, because like to have so many barriers and still like be up for awards in a completely different country, I still think it's very commendable. And I hope more stories come out like this so that like it doesn't feel so foreign, for lack of a better word. Like I'm glad history is being told in these moments that people might not know much about. Like, I mean, like I said, we got a lot going on in this country, but there's a lot going on in this world, and it's really good that these stories are getting a space and it's being internationally told.
And talking about a lot going on, there's a lot of sex going on in this movie. What was your favorite sex scene?
Holy moly, is there about a sex in this movie? Yeah, I guess there is a fair amount, but for 2 hours and 40 minutes, it's like I feel maybe a normal amount.
I don't. You know me, I'm a prude, but so none of that. None of that sin.
I think for me, it was from that awful recliner in the cinema that was fucking my back the entire time.
He said it happens every day, or every day, or every showing. I think he said this happens every day.
And then it wasn't like them in the back row. They were like mid row. They were like, "Let's
I was
go."
like, man, like you guys are bold. Like nobody else around. You don't give. You know, these people can't even enjoy this damn movie.
Don't start no
Can you
stuff.
imagine you're just watching the movie and it's like right behind your head, you're like Jesus Christ.
What about the dude in the file cabinet, like in the back?
Oh yeah, so random.
Oh, that's right. Oh my god,
I forgot
The
about
security
that.
guard.
I forgot.
Just
about
give him a
that.
tour of the office and just like,
What
I mean, it's
about
like
what
he's
about the
shooting out some
what
doors.
what about the orgy at the park?
The what? Oh, right.
The orgy with the foot.
and
Or
then
the dentist kit. I mean, that's
oh yeah,
I was checking his teeth. You know, that was
yeah.
That's someone's kink.
got a dentist key.
Yeah,
Crazy.
I don't want to be a prude or like that asshole who's judgy, but yeah, I kind of am being judgy.
I know it is tough, right? When you think about it, like someone directed this and someone said, "We're gonna fix your mouth and you guys are gonna do it," and then that's that. That's what it's. Yeah.
So I will say I didn't feel like the woman in that first scene where she's like sitting on his lap, the dentist scene. I feel like she didn't feel very comfortable with the sex scene. It felt like as a scene partner, she was trying to get it over with as quick as possible.
Oh, interesting.
Dang.
That's just what it felt like watching it from that perspective. Let's
Didn't
get into
want
the box
any of
office business
Wagner's
if we could.
wiener.
What's that?
I said didn't want any of Wagner's wiener.
She didn't want it.
And,
She didn't want it.
and this is a completely like Americanized lens, right? He's the only person that we've ever seen in anything else, right? Like it seemed like all the other actors might have been more Brazilian famous, and he's like the only one that we've seen in more Americanized films.
Off the
Can't
top of my
recognize
head,
the-
I would say
can't
yes.
recognize the German.
well, Jaws. We know
You said Jaws?
Yeah, we know
Jaws.
Also, The Omen is what they're watching in the cinema.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
I mean actors wise. I feel like the guy who played the villain that was like put a hit out on him. I feel like I've seen him in something, but everyone else was very fresh to
I
me.
feel the same way. Yeah, I don't know. I would have to go through the cast individually to see if I've seen them in anything else, but I would imagine you're probably right. Oh,
So box office.
the German guy. I feel like I've seen him in something else. We have seen him in a bunch of stuff. The guy who was like the German Jew, who they were like, show him your leg. That guy, we've seen him in a lot of stuff.
So what about the box office, Jason?
Oh yeah. Let's do some box office stuff. So this movie was actually made on a $5 million budget, which is very impressive. That they went a long way on five. I mean, to make a 2 hour and 40 minute movie with $5 million, good lord! Like, I hope
Period.
they're able. Huh?
And
Yeah,
it's
and a period film. It's like I don't really know how they did this. To be honest with you, like, I mean, they basically made a mom and pop shop movie look like a big cinema feature. And it so far it's grossed about 15.2 million worldwide. So it's done well. Most of that accounting coming from Brazil. Not very much from the US right now, but it has been playing in cinemas the past few weeks here. So maybe that number will continue to grow according to Google.
Good for it.
Now let's talk about favorite scene.
I'll go real quick. I mean, that's a long one, but I really enjoyed when he realized the there was someone after him and all that. him like thinking fast, going to the police guy, and like coming up with that story, and like, I don't have a gun, but they're harassing the women or whatever, and that kind of initiates the whole chase at the very end. But just the quick thinking of that, and how he like didn't like the cops, thought they were trashy and all that, but that's where the cops like sends the two sons, and that whole interaction between the sons and the killer just reacting, and then just like it looked so good. I mean, the shooting came off really good, and that started the whole chase thing. And yeah, so that, I have to say, that's one of my kind of favorite scenes, because it showed him in action, and what he was able to come up in a quick scenario. Like, I don't have a gun, and they're like, you don't have a gun. Like, just so, like, how can you not have a gun? Like, we'll help you out. But the incompetence of the police, as well as, just chit chatting with the guy that ended up, and how bad shots they were, you know.
Let's go with you, JP.
Yeah, I feel like my first scene probably was once the cop trio picked up the dad and stepson hitmen, just because like that whole sequence was the most exposition and like story lore that we got. Like, okay, we all know, like it's obvious, like, okay, hitmen are bad, cops are crooked, but then like, oh, it goes even deeper where they're actively hiding and working with each other to send to for a common goal. And the fact that like, oh shit, like these guys who are out to get Armando, they're also in league with the police who Armando has already met at this point. But yeah, no, I was hoping at that point, because it was that scene was also right before that leg sequence. I really thought that maybe like that was gonna be the setup of like what was gonna happen and set up the rest of the film later on. But that didn't end up happening. It became a whole different movie after that scene.
Let's go with you, Marina.
I feel like, yeah, I mean, like, obviously when you dive into a movie thinking it's like FBI crimes, like I do feel like, yeah, once the chase and everything started happening, that was really exciting. But I also found joy in, like, I feel like the intro was unique. Like, I think just diving in and not knowing what I was about to get, um, it was kind of cool, just like how they introduced us to the character and his road trip. And I don't really know, I thought there was gonna be more happening with the dead body in the beginning, but either way, it captivated me a lot, just bringing in, like, he's coming to town when this event is happening. Like, there was so much going on, and I liked the intro. But yeah, but obviously, I think, like, once, like, things start heating up and, like, this thing that we've been waiting for where someone's gonna catch him, finally comes together, that definitely was, like, that was the highlight for sure.
Let's go with you, Jason.
I really like this setup and callback that goes on in the movie. I think it's really good writing. It's the scene where it's a smaller scene, but to me, it's very pivotal as far as like understanding their character and the relationship. And honestly, it's kind of the nucleus of the movie. I think um, it's the scene. It's the father-son relationship, and it's the scene where he's telling his son when they're driving or whatever, and he's kind of just like telling his son about like his mother, and like his son's like I don't really remember her, and he's like when he's telling her all these memories about the mom. And I remember thinking while I was watching that scene, like, is this one of those moments in life where you're telling a kid a thing and you're almost implanting the memory for them because he
Yeah.
can barely remember, and he's so young right now, he's like a kindergarten age, he may not even remember this conversation that you're having. So like,
Yep.
so I'm thinking about that while I'm watching the movie, and it's just this beautiful callback later where the son sends his dad a picture of Jaws because he's obsessed with sharks and Jaws at this point. He sends him a picture And then he writes a note on the back, like, "Can you please come home to tell me about mom because I'm starting to forget her." And if you remember, the scene was about like, as long as you remember your mom, she's always going to be here with us. It's going to be
Yeah.
exactly like she's here with us if you can just remember her being here. And he's like, "I'm forgetting her," and it's so like it's so rich and deep and sad because it's like I lost mom, and this is a kid also reaching out, like telling his dad, like, "Feel like I'm losing you too. I miss you. I don't want to live with grandma and grandpa. I want to live with you." And I was like, this is such a like little beautiful, moment. And then you can kind of see it on I forget the actor's name, but you can see it on his face and he's playing it all out and he's realizing like, there's nothing more in life that he just wants to be next to his kid again. And he kind of like makes a decision like, I'm gonna figure out how to get us back together. And like you can kind of see it all working in his head. And it's like that was like really prime acting and writing, and everybody really understood the assignment with that from the director. Like I feel like they got that point across. I really like that a lot.
But then
And to
tied into
tie,
the end, Jason.
Dino, say it because I was gonna say the exact same thing. Go ahead.
So then him as an adult, the kid, when the girl's talking to him with the tapes, he's like,
Yeah.
you know more about my dad than I do, than I
Mhm.
remember. I was raised by my grandparents. Like you
Right.
listening to those tapes actually know what my dad sounds like or whatever. I don't remember him or my mom. So
Yeah.
it didn't, clearly he lost all that, and how much is that the grandparents trying to also save the grandson by let me kind of do a clean slate from that so that he doesn't go looking or whatever.
Doesn't even say too. Like all I kind of remember is like watching Jaws or something. Like the memory was that movie from his dad too.
Yeah.
Because
Of that,
it's a movie. There's a lot of generational trauma in the movie. Because
yep,
even him as the guy, not the son, but as the guy, he was searching for a document of his mom. He just
yeah,
wanted to have like a piece of evidence that she was here, and he never got that. And
yeah,
that's the
that,
reason he took that particular job, like at the
It's
file
pretty deep.
place.
It's pretty deep when you think about like in terms of someone running from a dictatorship and people being refugees and losing their history and past and culture and
and
future. Like it's pretty crazy.
certain caste, kind of a caste system as like you don't have a name or you're not written into things, so did you really exist? So what
Right.
he was trying to tell his kid of like, if you have the memory, they exist. He was trying to figure out the same connection with his mother of like, if I only find her name, I can tie it. If I only find my mother's name, then I can make it that she's real and stuff like that. So yeah, definitely a lot of tie-ins.
So I think I'm the one left for favorite scene. I'm gonna cheat a little bit, and I'm gonna mention three. So like first one, Marina mentioned it first. First scene, it was stunning. Like just the colors, the buggy, the 70s, the cop harassing, trying to get something out of him, like all those things. Like it was great. The scene that they're introducing the hitman, that is, it's like with that incredible song, which the score of this film is great, by the way. And just like that whole sequence and the nephew asking him, so like, what's up with this lady? And he's like, what do I get if I tell you? And they just do that crime, and then quickly they clean the car out of that blood and all that stuff. Like it was a very effective way to like tell you who these people are, very quick. And then because it's such a beautiful shot scene, is when he gets to the cinema and you get that view of like the whole place from the outside, how he looks when he's looking out of the window. I think that's such a beautiful shot.
The
Cool.
Okay, great.
difference of everyone looking towards the screen and then him looking out into the real world of like basically he being playing a character. Yeah, it's different ideas of like he's got to play this other character, but he's looking out into the world as the place he wants to be in, as you know. So yeah, it's a pretty cool scene as well.
So
That's
I think we can jump into final thoughts, shall we?
Let's do it.
Woo!
So let's go with Dino.
all right. Pretty much stay the same. Like I said at the beginning, I think it's a beautiful film in like shot and like you mentioned, even the music. Because I was getting nostalgia just of like some of the towns in Paraguay that have kind of stood the test of time, right, and hasn't really evolved that much. And so I was recognizing the places without it being the places, if you guys know what I mean. And I enjoyed the acting very much, and some of the situations. I just don't feel. I feel that it was a little underwhelming with all the talk of the awards and getting all the awards. And I feel that's one of those movies that in the state that the US right now is with the politics and everything and you know things against the First Amendment and all that this might be a film that because it's in the 70s and it dealt with similar things that might be creeping up now, that's why it's getting so much recognition, because it's almost like the people that do the awards and all that are like, hey, this is where we might be heading. And I think that's why this is a very popular film with voters of the awards and all that, because it's able to, they're able to, maybe if we put this up and we let people see this, it can be a way of saying we don't want to go there. So that's what I feel like is a reasoning that this is getting so much nominations and winning awards and all that, is because people realize that this not only happened, but it can happen again, and it's currently happening in different countries still, and could be here next. And I would recommend people, if they want to watch it, but for different reasons. If you're a fan of the actor from Narcos and the other films that he's been in, it's like check out what he does in his, you know, first language, right? Check out some foreign films if you want to get a little, different taste of cinema, or if you're interested in the Cold War in other countries, or history in that sense. I would recommend it, but don't. I wouldn't go out of my way. I would still be like, you should watch City of God or some of those other Brazilian films before I would recommend this one.
Thank you so much, Batman Voice Dino. Let's go with Marina.
I too, very similar to my intro thought. Definitely a rewatch. I feel like there was a lot of information to take in, and even though I enjoyed it at face value, it would be nice to watch it and be able to pay attention a little bit more, since I do understand a little bit more about what's going on, and talking with you guys has even been helpful. But yeah, I mean, recommendation wise, I don't 100% know who I would, but um if I'm talking to someone and we're talking about just like learning about different time periods and other places, and with dictatorships, it's definitely something I'd be like, "Oh, did you see The Secret Agent? It's a really good watch." Yeah, but I'll definitely be watching it again and just try to take a little bit more in of the actual plot, instead of like trying to interpret and trying to keep up with like so many layers while not necessarily understanding the language that's being spoken. But yeah, definitely still a good film, despite the barriers that I had with it.
Thank you so much, Marina. Let's go with JP.
Oh, golly gee because oh buddy. I guess my final thought is kind of like how, honestly, the same final thought that I had when I watched the movie. During that last sequence where it takes place in the present day with the girl who went over the tapes, and also with this the son now grown up, played by the same actor who played Armando, and it happens to be his place of work is the same place and lot where his grandfather worked at. It was like the movie made sense at that moment to me, but at the same time, I was genuinely shocked that was the end. As soon as the lights came up in the cinema, I was like, "Wait, what? That's it? We're not going back?" Like, because the movie spoils itself. We know that he doesn't make it out through seeing like news clippings and whatnot. But man, it's just so wild. Like, oh, like in a way, that's kind of all he is now. Is that's history, man. He's just one news clipping of like so many people who got royally fucked during that time. But man, like I still feel like I could have gotten more, to be quite honest. And I get it. Like I guess at the end of the day, like I just had a different type of expectation, and it's definitely not on the movie to like meet those. But damn, man, like it does take a while to kind of go with the flow with the film, and by the time that you're caught up to speed and you're like really like, oh yeah, I know what this is about now, I know how this is gonna go, it just ends. And it's like, fuck me. So yeah, like would I watch it again? Probably. Will I have different opinions about it on a second rewatch? I'm not sure. I don't know what future JP's doing. He might be dead by the time that this is released. That's a joke. I don't know why I said that. But yeah, like I gave this movie a 4-star on my letterbox, so yeah, 4-star. But did I put the heart and say like it? I did not.
Thank you so much, JP. Let's go with Professor Jason.
Very cool. So this movie, I don't feel like I need to see it again per se. I don't think I do, but I wouldn't like, turn it down because there is a lot to like here. Like, I mean, I wouldn't like turn my nose up at it, is what I mean. Like to say like, oh, it's not worthy being watched again. I just don't see myself going back to it. But it's not impossible. There might be a reason to go back to it. There's a lot of great performances in it. There's a lot of I think a lot of the scenes are directed well. I just feel like I just feel like the story is a little bit long per se. I don't know what you can cut out of it. I don't know. I don't know, man. It just 2 hours and 40 minutes is a long movie. Especially like I can't say this enough. I didn't know what was going on for the first 90 minutes. And to me that just feels like a big no-no. Uh or maybe you're just not looking out. Maybe it's more of a localized film, and you're not really looking out for your international audience who are as dumb as I am, and I'm sure many other Americans, if I'm just being fair to everyone else in the world. Um, and I am open to learning more about, nearly everything, including dictatorships that happened in the 70s and 80s. I will say this though, the movie does feel like the 70s and 80s Brazil. I never deny that. Like they knew what they were doing. Really, really good filmmaking. It feels like 1970s, 80s Brazil. And I have no recollection of that time or space. So it feels authentic in that way. Um, who would I recommend this to? I would recommend this to people who are real film fans, people who want to see movies that are nominated for the Academy Awards this year, for sure. Like, give this thing a watch. Um, Brazilians are probably going to love this thing. Brazilians who lived through it are going to love it. Brazilians who understand their history are probably going to like it. I'm sure there's going to be some Brazilians that absolutely hate this movie. You know what I mean? Because they're on the other side of the thing. But maybe they'll even like it too. I don't know. It is, it's not bad filmmaking. I don't appreciate the way it was done, per se. And I feel like from a commercial perspective, A lot of other people aren't either. Um, yeah, if you're a Portuguese speaker and this is like, this is like the art that the country of Brazil has decided to like represent them this year at the Academy Awards, and it's being nominated. I feel like all those people should see it. You know what I mean? I think they'll probably get a lot out of it. Uh, but like I said, I would watch it again, but I'm not looking to watch it again. It's just my honest opinion about the movie. Final thought.
You're like
Thank you so
guns,
much, Jason.
gun to my
Sorry.
head. sir.
It is my final thought.
Oh damn.
Oh man.
No, it is my final thought, and I'm gonna say this. One other detail when JP was speaking was about that essentially at the very end. Also, not only was he in the same place that the grandpa had the theater, but his job was dealing with blood stuff. That's also a very important detail about that particular thing. I think it's a great film. I think, obviously, from the standpoint of uneducated people, uh, it's going to be difficult because, especially people that don't
Damn.
put effort to at least learn a little bit of Portuguese, at least bom dia, obrigado, then it's going to be difficult for you to get into something that's in a completely other language. But when we watch black and white films, when we watch something like Blancanieves that you have to be reading, little things, then we really, really see, the ignorant side of people here in the cinema club, like Dino, that was that was saying like, oh no, mine wasn't in the language that I wanted. I wish it was in this other language. And same with Marina. Oh, I wish that this was dubbed and stuff. But it's okay. I will definitely recommend this film for those people that like enjoy really good film, really good cinema. People that know how to stretch a freaking budget and make an actual good film that has substance, that has different things. I don't see people complaining about Inception and Memento and movies like that put you lost and stuff. Come
I
on,
do.
give Brazilian people a chance.
I
Give
still don't.
Brazilian people a chance.
I
Hey,
do
I'm
fucking love
talking.
those
I'm
movies.
talking here. Hey, I'm talking here. Come on. I made my final thought. You guys are stepping all over my final thought right now. Come on.
You're insulting us in your final thought.
Yeah. Look, JP's crying. JP's crying. I haven't insulted him yet. You picked SpongeBob, motherfucker. Let's chill. Let's chill. Let's chill about our picks. I'm out here picking the best foreign film in the Oscars. I'm calling it right now. I even put the bet on Couchy. If you want to win some money, go ahead and do it right now. We're not sponsored. But I want to tell you that this film is nominated for so many awards because it's that freaking good. And Hollywood is thirsty for that Brazilian audience. Let me tell you
I already gave my reasoning why it's probably gonna win some of those. But I don't. I think foreign film probably, but then again, I haven't seen the other ones. But yeah, I don't think it's gonna get best film, but it could win the other ones.
that. Okay, we'll see in a couple weeks.
I'm just going to go on record and saying, in no world is this better than Sinners. It's just not.
Finally,
Um,
I've been saying that,
uh,
and I did
Brazil,
enjoy. I can I just before all the brasileiros, brasileños, obrigado.
Brazil,
Okay, bom dia. Uh, you know, muito legal, todo joia. Yes, I did enjoy the movie. I liked it. I said it was beautiful. I just don't think it's great. I don't think it's the best film out there. I don't think it's the best Brazilian film out there. That's all. It can be good and not great. It could be extremely interesting. That's it, man. Steve, we out here getting your strays for no reason whatsoever.
I
You
I
just salty. You just salty because your foreign film pick has not been appreciated as much as Blancanieves or even SpongeBob for that matter. And I had to watch SpongeBob in Spanish, and I wanted to watch it in the original language. So strays
I
right
really
back
did
at
like
you.
Black of the Ava though. I did. I liked it. Okay.
I'm gonna watch that alternative halftime movie, that Melania film. Heck yeah.
On that note, Steve, what do you got for us next week?
Next week, we're watching The Secret Agent Part 2, motherfucker. No,
Oh
I'm
my,
kidding.
already? Too soon.
It is Marina's turn.
Is it?
Really?
It is.
All right, wait.
Okay, cool. Well, it's been a
Did you
minute.
not have a movie picked out for us, Marina?
Maybe. Actually didn't. I have two. We're gonna vote.
I
All
got
right, we
it.
gotta vote in a little bit. So I've been having a movie I've been wanting to do, and then and then, Robert Duvall went ahead and passed away on us. I'm sentimental. So now I'm gonna have you guys vote between The Princess Bride, because I've been wanting to get girly girl on y'all, or Secondhand Lions, which is my favorite movie with Robert Duvall. So
I thought
yeah.
they were both going to be Robert Duvall movies.
No. I had something planned, and then he passed away, and it made it a vote. So no, I don't believe he's in Princess Bride.
Okay,
But
just double check. We haven't did Princess Bride, have we?
I hope not.
I can't remember.
I don't recall.
I highly
Genuinely, I
doubt
don't
you guys
recall.
pitched that movie.
How are
It's
we
a
voting? I mean,
popular
that's
movie.
considered a
Okay,
great
so
movie
Princess
in
Bride
itself.
is 1. Secondhand Lions is 2. I'm gonna give it
Okay.
a 3, 2, 1 countdown.
Okay.
After I say 1, you'll put your finger up. Okay.
All right.
3, 2, 1.
Oh, what the? Oh, yeah. Okay, it looks like we're going with the
Looks like
Lions.
the
So
twos have it.
Secondhand Lions, it is. It's
Look at that.
it's a family movie, not very deep, not very dictatorship in Brazil in the 70s, 80s.
Hey, family is very deep.
But I like it. It sticks with me. And R.I.P.
Obama means family, and family means nobody gets left behind.
Yeah, when they go low, we go high. All right.
So for the Maria Love, JP, Jason Echoes, Steve, and Tuboral, we'll see you next week. Bye bye.
Bye.
Right?